Hello and welcome to Virtual Student Open Day at Institute of Science and Technology, Austria, or simply ISTA. My name is Masha Trafimova, and I'm the head of the graduate school office here. And this office is responsible for everything related to our PhD program. I will be your virtual guide for ISTA today. So, should we begin? First, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going to happen today. After my super short welcome, you will see the introduction video to the Institute, and then you will have live presentation by our Dean, Mario De Bono, and Deputy Dean, Gaspar Tkachik, and a little bit from me, so that you will be familiar enough with the Institute, the research we do, and our PhD program. Then we will follow up by the Q&A with the dean and deputy dean. Then you will meet our students through video and also through the live questions. And after the end of the general session, you will have an opportunity to meet live professors and students from different tracks. Feel free to ask us questions. We prepared a Slido site for you. So take your device, scan the QR code, and you can start asking your questions right now. There is a whole graduate school office team working behind the scenes, answering them, and some questions in the course of our open day, I will pick up and I will ask to the deans and to our students. And now we should proceed to the video.
The Institute of Science and Technology Austria, in short, ISTA, is a cross-disciplinary research institution that combines excellent basic research with world-class graduate education. The Institute is equipped with outstanding scientific infrastructure. Brand new laboratories, lecture halls, and scientific service units give scientists and students the support to go beyond their limits.
We have a bioimaging facility that you can see in the background here. That's light microscopy. We have electron microscopy. We have a preclinical facility. We have a life science facility, general support for the life sciences. We have a nanofabrication facility and a workshop that includes an electronic workshop that builds specialized equipment. And then also we have a library.
ISTA's welcoming library offers a quiet place to study and access e-journals or e-books. The buildings are connected by bridges where you can enjoy free coffee and tea. They are also a great place to exchange ideas with colleagues from other research groups. When it comes to healthy food, the cafeteria has you covered. You can choose between Austrian, international, or vegetarian cuisine. ISTA also supports students with fully furnished apartments that are located on the campus.
That's great because I came from very far away, so it's really hard to find a place to live, but now I have a year to find it, and it's great.
The lively campus social scene makes studying and working at ISTA attractive too.
I really recommend to go for all the retreats, and yes, especially these social events are very well organized. A lot of nice food, nice people, nice activities usually.
I love ISTA because it's a very international environment. Everyone gets along, is very friendly. You have opportunities to do lots of sports with people, go on trips, and it's just a very enjoyable, nice atmosphere.
And I'm specifically interested in sports, so I play volleyball with people from my cohort and other colleagues that join as well. And it's pretty nice that we have the field on campus as well, so you don't have to commute a lot.
The Institute is surrounded by quiet neighborhoods and beautiful nature. However, Austria's capital, Vienna, is just around the corner.
The best part is that ISTA is just on the outskirts of Vienna, so it's a bit outside the city, so you get to see the nice forest, the trees everywhere around it. You get that aspect of nature, but then you can just take the ISTA shuttle bus and then you're just a short hop into Vienna and then away from there.
If you are eager to research on an extraordinary level and study in a diverse, interdisciplinary environment, and would profit from a quiet place on the outskirts of a vibrant city, then consider ISTA for your PhD.
Hello, my name is Mario De Bono. I'm a neuroscientist and I'm also the Dean at ISTA. I want to spend a few minutes to tell you a little bit about our institute. So ISTA is a core-funded research institute. We have scientists whose work is driven by curiosity. We do blue skies research as well as applied research. And we have open doors for graduate education. So we recruit every year PhD students who then join the labs and go on to do science at our institute. The institute has some unique features that distinguish us from other places. We have and we treasure interdisciplinarity. So many of our students work with multiple labs. They have interdisciplinary projects. Also unusually, we accept people into our programs who have not only master's degrees, but also bachelor's degrees. Our PhD positions are fully funded, and the students are employees of the Institute. And although we are located just outside Vienna, the Institute is English-speaking. The Institute was founded in 2009. It has grown considerably since then. We now have 1,200 people at ISTA. And these come from all over the world. People at the Institute come from more than 78 countries. The Institute continues to grow. We currently have 85 professors and almost 400 PhD students. And every year we recruit around 80 new PhD students. Our science is divided, if you like, into tracks. We have 7 different tracks. These are administrative units. They are not there to constrain students. And for example, a student who joins the biology track can take courses and even work with professors who are affiliated in other tracks. This is an important principle that we have, which is really to facilitate people bridging different disciplines. I would now like to welcome my colleague, Gaspard Kacik, who is also the Deputy Dean at ISTA, and who will tell you a little bit more detail about the program.
Thank you, Mario. Thank you. All right, so you will hear a few details about the program from me as well. As was already mentioned, our PhD opportunities are really fully funded. And our program is structured, as I will explain to you on the next slide. So this is sort of a summary slide that tracks students' progress, your progress, if you come here, from the time that you enter up to the time that you leave, altogether encompassing between 5 or 6 years of study. So when when students arrive, they enter the phase 1, what we call the unaffiliated phase. That's the first phase, which is structured. And it features basically 2 components. So you spend about half of your time doing what we call lab rotations. So here, 1, 2, 3. So everyone before joining the group has to complete 3 lab rotations. And then in parallel, you're taking various types of coursework. Some coursework is shared and all students take that coursework. So this is what we call the core requirement. And core requirement typically captures transferable skills. These are skills like writing scientific texts, ethics training, interdisciplinary communications training. Most of the coursework, however, is what we call electives, and those are graduate level courses, so courses that help you specialize in one or few areas of science that will be fundamental to your PhD. And then we also offer various optional trainings that you might take. So while you're completing those requirements, you are also trying to figure out which research group you'll affiliate with based on the rotations. And you approach a professor, sometimes 2 professors, if you want to co-affiliate, to discuss affiliation options. After affiliation, you become a part of the research group and you start preparing your thesis proposal. So there is a few months time between affiliating and and passing your qualifying exam, which is when you develop what you'd like to do in your PhD. You write it up with the help of your supervisor, and then you defend that proposal in front of the thesis committee in the qualifying exam. If that goes all well, you proceed to the second phase, which is the affiliated phase. That's the more traditional, I would say, PhD research, where most of your time will be spent doing a research on your PhD thesis topic. Along with that, of course, there is other trainings that you complete. So maybe a very important one is to do some teaching as a teaching assistant, which is where you help a professor with course recitations. But there is also other opportunities. So for instance, to engage in scientific outreach and education. Students in that phase also complete yearly progress reviews, where they get advice on how to move towards their careers after PhD and to make sure that they actually finish PhD on time. And you also get exposed in terms of presentation to a broader audience than just your own research group through this annual research presentation requirement. So if all goes well, then you prepare your PhD thesis and you defend it in the thesis defense, which is when you graduate as a student from our institute. A few words about the student support. What we already pointed out is that there is no tuition fees. If you are accepted, you're fully employed and fully paid. Everyone gets an initial 5-year duration for your study. That includes a salary that's paid 14 times a year, and for the numbers you can consult the slide. But maybe equally importantly, it also comes with a number of benefits. Since that's a fully employed position, you get a medical coverage, you get pension insurance. If you're coming from further abroad, IST will help you with support for visa, and in particular, first-year housing support on campus, which then facilitates if you want to find housing off campus later on. There is a free shuttle bus that goes between the institute and Vienna, which has an excellent public transport, and there is also other perks such as on-campus physician support, and there is an on-campus gym, family support, and so on, including, I should point out, on-campus kindergarten. There is also unlimited coffee and tea that you will find in our buildings. All right, so what do our graduates do after they get their PhDs? Most actually stay in academic careers, 43% here, and we list some of the employers where our graduates went on to do their postdocs or get their faculty job. Some of them well-known institutions that you might recognize in academia. About a third go on to do industry jobs, also at employers that some of them we list here. And then I would say a small fraction go on to do some very unrelated jobs. Maybe these are NGOs or scientific communication type jobs, maybe government jobs, and so on. All right. And with that, I hand over to Masha.
Thanks a lot, Gaspar. So here I am again to remind you, first of all, to keep asking your questions through Slido. Here is a QR code. Please scan it with your device and start or keep asking questions. We already receive a lot of your questions. Thanks a lot. And again, the Graduate School Office team is working behind the scenes answering your questions. So to some of your questions, you will see the answer through Slido, but some of them will actually be answered live by Mario and Gaspar, whom you just seen, or a little bit later by our students. So, but without further ado, I would like to tell you a bit about our admissions process. What do you need to do to apply to ISTA PhD program, and also what's going to happen after you apply. So, important thing to remember is that we have only one centralized call per year. Deadline for online application will be on January 8th, and the selected students who get an offer, they will start on September 15th, 2026. What do you need to do to apply? What do you have to submit? Your academic CV, of course, your statement of purpose. So you write your specific essay indicating what is your interest in science, What is your scientific background and why do you want to pursue a PhD? Why specifically at ISTA? And we also will be asking you to answer some very specific questions about your academic motivation and background and the research groups you are interested at ISTA to understand your specific knowledge and motivation a little bit better. Obviously, we will ask for your academic transcript. If you already have your master's degree, please submit both bachelor's and master's transcripts. Since, again, it's good to remind you here at this point, unlike many institutions, ISTA accepts also students who have only bachelor degree to the PhD program. And what we ask as well are the reference letters. We will ask you to name 3 referees who will receive a separate emails and who will be asked to submit their reference letters. They don't have to be Nobel Prize winners. They don't have to be super famous in science. All that they need to do and all that they need to be is knowing you and your previous academic standing and your research work if you have research experience, and will be able to tell us everything about you and hopefully just positive things. So, if you are not convinced and if you think, I'm not sure I want to dedicate my life to basic research, but I would like to give it a try. But maybe 5 year commitment is a little bit too much at this point. Or you might be just a bachelor student finishing, say, your second year of studies. It's a little bit too early to go for PhD at this stage. What can ISTA offer me? We actually have a short-term programs. So, scientific internship. This is not a study program. This is also employment. So, just like PhD students, you receive full employment contract and all the social benefits that come with it. Obviously, the level of salary will be a little bit lower. Uh, we don't have a separate call for scientific internship. We hire interns all year round, and the duration of internship, depending on the research group needs and depending on your availability, can vary from 2 to 12 months and everything in between. How to apply then if we don't have an open call? You need to contact your PI directly. Please have a look at the list of our research groups, see what interests you the most, and think what can you contribute and what you can learn there. Why do you want to intern in this or that group? And then you have to be brave. You have to call, you have to contact the PI, the primary investigator, directly. It might be a little bit scary, but that's the way to get the internship. Write a short but concise letter saying who you are, attach your CV, and why specifically. Why exactly do you want to intern in the group? What interests you, and what can you bring to the table? And then, well, we hope really to see you at ISTA as a PhD student or as an intern very soon. Once again, I would like to remind you that we keep accepting the Slido question. We keep answering the Slido question. And now, once we have quite that's an impressive number, actually. We have quite a few questions, and I see that a lot of them are repeated quite many times. So I will try to pick the most frequently asked questions, and I would like to ask Mario and Gaspar to answer some of them. So I think the champion among all the questions is, of course, the questions about rotations, and I understand our program really have an unusual structure. So students come in unaffiliated. Students do not belong to research groups, and sometimes they know which groups they want to affiliate with, but they still ask, so why is it mandatory to do rotation? What are the benefits?
Perhaps I can take that question, Masha. We think rotations offer many advantages. So, firstly, it offers the student an opportunity to really explore different areas of science that may not have been on their horizon. Even though someone may come with a preconception of what they want to do, if they haven't been exposed, which they often will not have been, to the breadth of science, they may realize during the course of the rotation that actually there was some other area that was much more interesting to them. I think I should also say that when you commit to doing a PhD, this is a long term commitment. PhDs are often 5 years long. And important in that period of time is your relationship with the people in your lab and also your principal investigator. And so it's very important to actually make sure that you join a lab where you have a good relationship with your PI and with your fellow lab members. And I think rotations offer you a very good opportunity, a 9-week period during which you can discover that. The styles of mentoring of different PIs vary considerably. Some people give a lot of independence to their students. Others, on the other hand, will be very hands-on. And so you need to choose which kind of mentoring style works best for you. Also from the point of view of building a social network at the Institute, we think rotations are very important because by getting to know different labs, you are then able to reach out to the people you've got to know during these 9-week rotations and ask for help. And this is important because we think that at ISTA we offer a very interdisciplinary training, and part of this interdisciplinary training comes from actually exposing yourself to the style of research done in these different labs during this rotation. And so then you can perhaps go to people you've met and ask them to teach you a technique that your lab does not have working. Those are just a few examples of the benefits. There are more.
Thanks a lot for the comprehensive answer, Mario. I think that the question which is most frequent, apart from rotation questions, is various questions about courses. And since Kasper already talked about them, maybe you can continue.
Sure.
So, what kind of courses in principle do you offer? Because, ISTA has only one interdisciplinary PhD program. How can you have courses that are useful for everybody? And what is the level of these courses? What students should be prepared for?
Right. Yeah. So these are very good questions. What we hope to do in the graduate school, and I think we are managing quite well, is to offer sort of a breadth of courses, also depending on the level. So we offer what we call introductory courses, which might help a student who comes in with one background, and I'm just giving an example now, let's say trained as a physicist, to also learn about biology. So this will be offered at an introductory level and their purpose is really this interdisciplinary exposure. Most of the courses will offer at the PhD student level. Like these are PhD courses at the institute, which is very specialized and small. So means you can look forward to classes that have maybe only 5, 6, 7 students. So the bond between the instructor and the students can be quite tight. And sort of in addition to that, as I mentioned, there are courses which are covering various types of transferable skills, right? And so as a graduate school, what we prepare is sort of a menu, a course listing from which you can select these courses subject to some constraints, that you need to accumulate a minimum amount in order to qualify for your PhD. But within that, you're actually quite free. I would mention maybe 2 special type of courses that we established at our institute. So one is called interdisciplinary communication. This is a course that all the students take together in their first year, and it's really a specially designed exchange opportunity for students with mixed backgrounds to try to learn how to communicate across disciplinary boundaries. And then every track that Mario mentioned will prepare their own track core course. And so if you join a particular track, let's say neuroscience, as a student, you must take that one course, which is a course that helps build a cohort in that scientific discipline, let's say neuroscience. And it gives an introduction to the research in neuroscience done at IST, which then also helps you navigate better your PhD research and what can be done at our institute.
Thanks a lot. That's yet another comprehensive answer. I think that now, because we don't have too much time left for the Q&A, I think I will ask some questions, and I have a lot here that are related to the application, because after all, you both are professors, you will be evaluating applications. So let's start with a more general question to Mario, maybe. What are you looking for in the application? What does make an application stand out for you?
Yes, this is a very good question. I think for me, when I receive an application, I want to see some evidence that the student has actually read at least some of the papers that we have published, that they have a little bit of an understanding of the sort of science that we're doing. So the best applications, the ones that stand out, are ones which are actually that have some connection. So they're not written by ChatGPT. It actually comes across as you've read and thought about the science that we do. Obviously, we also look at your motivation for doing science. Why are you applying to do a PhD? Why have you chosen ISTA? We also look at the experience you have had in the past. So, what sort of scientific experience have you had? Have you worked in a lab beforehand? It's not essential to work in lab, but of course, if you have some experience working in lab, this is an advantage. I think those are the main criteria that we look at. Of course, the grades that you get um, in your university degrees are important as well. Fundamentally, we're looking for people who are curious, who are committed to doing science, who are smart, and who will be the scientific leaders of the future.
Thanks a lot. That's an impressive answer. Maybe I will ask Gasper some more concrete questions that I have here. So, if I need to pick and choose, I guess to follow up on Mario's answer. So, one person, for example, asks, so if I don't have research experience, what do I do? Am I automatically rejected? And also, do I need to have a concrete research proposal at the time of application?
Right. So I would say, let me answer the last question first. You most definitely do not need to have a concrete research proposal. I think in the research statement, we look for signs of motivation, signs of investing some of your time, as Mario was saying, into researching what opportunities we offer at the Institute, but that does not mean that you have to come already with a worked out proposal. It's also what we are looking is a shorter statement of purpose, not a full research proposal. So we're looking for motivation, perseverance, how your skills, how your experiences fit in what we are offering and why you think they fit. That's actually a very important part. Now, question was also, do I need to have research experience at all? And as was already pointed out, we take in even students with bachelor degree, even 3-year bachelor degree, for which we think or believe it, or it's typical that they have done a lot of coursework, but maybe did not have, say lab or group research experience before. So the answer is no, you can apply without such an experience. It depends a little bit on the field, on how important such experience would be, and on the faculty reading the file. But you can come, and I think what's very important, if you were to come in as a bachelor student or maybe a student switching fields, we offer options in the graduate school where you can get your first research experiences here, not just as part of rotations that we mentioned. There's also other elements in our curriculum, for instance, lab immersion, where you can spend up to 6 months in a group getting what would be otherwise maybe part of a master's project on the way. So the answer is no, please do apply. Also, if you don't have research experience yet, we take these applications quite seriously. And actually, just as a example statistic, about 1/3 of our student intake is actually students with bachelor degrees who might not have had that much research experience from before.
Thanks a lot, both of you. These were amazing answers, and I'm sure our guests are feeling more confident right now. Thanks a lot for your Slido questions. Thanks a lot for keep asking them, keep watching. Now we will start a video with student testimonials. And after this video, we will have live talk with the students who will also be answering your questions. So see you in a bit.
I chose IST because of the interdisciplinarity and because of how it worked, like the PhD program, that we could do the rotations, we could figure out what we are interested in.
There was one interesting aspect of my time here at IST, and this was the first year that ended with the affiliation. So I really enjoyed the fact that I could spend some time doing the research with different groups. And in the end, I actually ended up joining a different group than I thought I would.
We could actually see what the group is like before joining and, just try different, maybe even topics, and yeah. So this is why I chose IST.
In the years before I came to IST, all the people around me were doing mathematics. And now I come here and suddenly, out of the 25 people in my year, it's only 3 people doing mathematics and everyone else is doing biology, neuroscience, all the crazy things. And then I get to do a course where I actually go to the lab and I pipette something and I sequence my DNA. And there are people who have been doing this for ever, and I've never been doing that, and it's exciting. So the opportunities like this that broaden your horizons, that's really great about the first year at IST. But on the other side, there is also the depth. So within your field, there is a group, or there are a couple groups who do stuff that you are interested in and with whom you could have arbitrarily complicated talks about what you're interested in.
I think ISTA is, I will say, a trivial thing, feels like family. And it's kind of like you have a close family and a little bit more distant family, but you still interact with a lot of people. And our group, for example, interacts a lot with another computer graphics team of Chris Voiton. So we spend a lot of time together, we do activities. Apart from then, of course, go into group retreats together. It's really joyful time, and of course it spans over a few days where we have both time for work and leisure.
I think that ISTA is a very close-knit community, and I think it comes from the fact that we are such international students, and we all kind of, at least in my case, we were 35-40 students who start together their PhD, and we all wanted to find friends and meet people, and so it was very easy to bond with them. I think over the last 4 or 5 years, I've made many good friends, and I think they are going to be my friend for a very long time to come.
I think IST may be easily, if not the best, then among the best places in the world to do a PhD.
So my professor has been, luckily for me, that he has been very supportive, and he is always very, very available. He's just next door, and I can just knock on his door and go to him. At least before pandemic, that was the case. I can go to him and then talk about problems that I have, or discuss science in general, or sometimes we just sit around after the lunch break and discuss about random stuff as well, not just science, about politics, yeah. And he also has a very good sense of humor, I have to say. So in my free time, I also picked up how to dance salsa here at IST. One of the postdocs who was living here before me just decided to start teaching us salsa dancing, and then I picked it up, and now after 4 years of dancing salsa, I am teaching those classes.
During my free time, I did a lot of yoga and then a lot of dancing, and there used to be yearly charity concert taking place, and so I always contributed with a dance there. So we also used to play a lot of table soccer at IST, and it was good fun because it's like, well, at the beginning, of course, you join a group and you don't know, and everyone beats you all the time. But then you start practicing, and suddenly you get better and better. It's really fun.
Hello and welcome back. Good afternoon. I hope you all enjoyed the video where you saw some of our students. And now we are into the second part of our virtual student open day at ISTA, where you can actually see our students live, and I will be asking them questions that we collected meanwhile on Slido, so they can tell you about their life experience. I'm very excited to introduce our ISTA PhD students to all of you. And would you like to say a few words about yourselves?
Hi, Masha. Thanks for having me here. I'm Rush. I'm from 2024 cohort, and I'm doing machine learning and computer science track.
Hi, Masha. Thanks for the invitation. My name is Roxolana. I'm from 2023 cohort, and I'm doing my PhD in developmental biology.
Hi Masha, thanks for inviting me. My name is Andrea. I'm from the 2023 cohort and I'm doing a PhD in climate science and atmospheric dynamics, and I'm originally from Italy.
Hi, Masa and everyone. I'm Stavros. I'm from Greece and I've been here since 2021 doing my PhD in neuroscience.
Awesome. So I have great news for you. We have a ton of questions from prospective students who are interested in what does it take to do a PhD at ISTA. And I wonder, for example, maybe Roxalana can tell us how it works with this first year, with rotations, with not yet being affiliated to research group. Can you give maybe our audience some tips on how to survive during this first year?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the question. For me personally, this rotation system of ISTA was very, very important and kind of a crucial point of choosing this institute for my PhD because during my undergrad, I have been doing many internships so that I can explore different fields of biology. And I kind of thought that it's going to help me narrow down my interests a bit. It didn't work like that. It only expanded my interests even more, and there were more and more things that I wanted to try in the end. So, coming to ISTA and having this opportunity to explore what is here and actually do the project like that I might do for my PhD was very, very important. So, during my interviews, I spoke to many different professors that aligned with some of my interests. I told all of them that I'm very undecided. I will decide during my first year. I'm approaching with a very more open mind, and I'm just very interested in their research. And then I did three very, very different rotations. First one was in plant molecular biology, then was developmental biology, and then more in vitro biology. So during my second rotation, I managed to find a project that fit my interests extremely well. I was working with a postdoc, and we kind of managed to develop a project that we could work together on, and everything worked out very perfectly. It was, I felt like it was the spot for me, like the perfect one. So I'm very, very happy that this was the way, and I could actually try working in the lab before committing for 5 years.
So rotations and trying at least three different things actually helped you to realize where your focus is and what you're really interested in.
Yes.
That's really a great tip for our prospective students. Do you have any other great tips?
I would say the most important thing is to be very open-minded, and also honest with yourself, and also kind of easy on yourself because it's gonna be hard and stressful, of course, but as long as you're giving yourself this opportunity to explore and this opportunity to choose on the spot, you're gonna make a good choice. You shouldn't come with already very strict direction. If you do, it's good, but also ISTA gives you this great opportunity to explore, and you should really use it. And also, I would say communicating this to the professor is also very important, because in my case, for example, they were very supportive. When I came to them and I said, like, I'm interested, but I'm not committed, they were more interested about what I'm bringing from a different perspective to the lab, which is also very important for my future research. So I would say communication and this open mind is the most important tips.
Thanks a lot, Roxalana. Indeed, open mindedness and open communication, that's the spirit of ISTA. We have a big set of questions that are not actually about the academic life, but rather the practical part of it. So I wonder, Andrea, To put it really blunt, as some of our questions from the audience do, is the PhD salary enough to live and survive in Austria?
So I would really say that the money issue. I understand maybe some people can be concerned, but I can really ensure that the salary that ISTA provides for the whole duration of the PhD is enough to live a very nice life in Austria. So the PhD salary increased a bit after the qualifying exam, but is anyway, I would say, one of the highest PhD salaries in Austria and probably also in Europe. And the salary after qualifying exam is about the median salary in Austria. Cost of life can be slightly higher than the European average in Vienna for what concerns, for example, groceries and leisure activities. But for example, the rental cost is rather low for a European capital and also such a rich city. In addition to that, we have to remind that ISTA provides affordable housing for the first year students. So this not only simplifies the life of the student, but of course also helps them from the monetary point of view. So I would really not stress too much about this point. You can really live a good life, have also fun, and also probably make some savings for your future.
Perfect. Well, having not to worry what you're going to eat at the end of the month definitely helps you to concentrate on science, I can imagine. I see here very interesting questions. Are there any opportunities to collaborate with different groups or maybe different institutions in Austria and even globally? Did you experience any of these?
So, well, the Institute really promotes any kind of collaboration across groups of the same field, also, especially outside your field, because sometimes different fields have different expertises that maybe you don't know about, or once you get to know each other's expertise, you can really blend them, and both of the fields can really get advantage of that. So the institute promotes also collaborations outside ISTA with the other Austrian institutes, or also abroad. I know a lot of people that have some time to arrange meetings with the with the collaborators in the US or in Australia or whatever. So sometimes requires some effort to get a good timing for all of the collaborators. And yeah, I personally I have been collaborating with the computer science group since the beginning of my PhD, because we're interested in using some of the models that they develop, some machine learning models, to understand some physics of the climate system, and they are very interested in, to the fact that their models can be used in applied science case, like especially climate science, that I think is a crucial discipline for the 21st century. So I really recommend every person that has a possibility to expand their network of collaborations across fields, or also just within your own field. I would really recommend to do that, because you can really learn new things. You can maybe pick up some techniques that you wouldn't know about, and yeah, I think you can really benefit also for the future. The largest is your spectrum of knowledge. Also, the more roads are open for your future career.
Thanks a lot for such an elaborated answer, Andrea. And I think that your speech provoked some more questions. For example, I see here questions about ISTA being so interdisciplinary, and how it feels and what kind of mindset you have to switch your field of study. I think Stavros wants to answer this question.
Yes. Well, first, I think I should stress that field switching it is indeed possible. And actually, I like the way that the question was put, because it has a lot to do with mindset. Of course, you have to find the right group and the right fit, as Roxolana was saying earlier. But also, when it comes to you personally, And if I can talk about for myself, because I originally studied medicine, and now I'm doing a PhD in neuroscience, so I'm away from the clinical field. So yeah, of course, it takes some time to get used to the new everyday life and the new responsibilities you have. But what's more important to me is that in science and science in general, any field, neuroscience or physics or what have you, it's a collaborative process. So it's very rare nowadays that you work by yourself. As Andrea was saying, there's collaboration everywhere. And when you're switching fields, you have to sort of leave behind some preconceptions you might have, or you have to be open-minded in a sense that people in your everyday, people you collaborate and work with, may see things from a different perspective. And it doesn't mean that your perspective or the perspective is right or wrong. It's just they have a different set of knowledge, they have a different set of skills, and as compared to you. And it's very important that you step into their shoes and see this problem from their perspective, and be able to communicate clearly of what the project is, what the requirements are, and how you said to actually attack this question. Because all of us are scientists, we're question driven. So, and of course we see questions from different aspects and different perspectives. But communication is very important, and it's very important to be open-minded also and be willing to learn, ask foolish questions in lab meetings. Talk with people, not only in your lab, not only with your supervisor or your committee, but also talk with people in your cohort, around the institute, collaborators, because a physicist might see a neuroscience question from a completely different light, and that might not be applicable per se to me, but it will definitely maybe move the right stones and maybe see and approach the question from a really maybe more interesting and more original perspective.
Thanks a lot for this. Very encouraging. Which question to pick now? Are there any teaching opportunities for you as a PhD student here at ISTA?
Yeah, well, I think there are many teaching opportunities. And I have to say that myself originally was not so keen on teaching, and we're really encouraged. And I can talk to you maybe about so of course you can teach your fellow new PhD students and help build a course or help people answer questions that people have during the duration of a course. But for me, what was more interesting actually was a teaching opportunity I had in a course that was organized by ISTA and Vista, where you have there was a year-long program with high school students, and so the idea was that they get some first access to science and how research is done, and specifically neuroscience. And I was very hesitant, to be honest, in the beginning, for me to teach students, high school students, what they know, what they can do. Am I really qualified to teach a student, right? I didn't study, I wasn't trained in this. But for me, what really helped was actually feeding from the energy of the core instructors of the project, but also I was working with a colleague from the lab to have a small group of students with us for a small research project, and really feeding from her energy of how she was really understanding the students and trying to answer every question really helped me. And I think it was a very enriching experience, hopefully for the students, but definitely for me as well.
Yeah, and you could count this activity, teaching high school students, as your teaching assistantship.
Yeah, you see, so yes, of course, you can do all these things. I don't even think about it, but yeah, all of these things count to your your CV and your transcript. So absolutely, yes.
Perfect.
He was my TA for the ISTA core project the first year, and yeah, I think we had some good time in there.
Oh, so we basically have a teacher and a student
yes,
here who are
so I
kind
can.
of buddies now. Excellent. Perfect. All right. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to answer all the questions that come up, and I'm trying to pick the super interesting ones and also those that our students can answer. And I think we have a perfect questions for Rush, because you also have been an intern here at ISTA before you started your PhD journey.
Right, yeah.
And your field is computer science. So I see people are wondering, what do interns in computer science do?
Okay, I mean that's a great question. That's actually I have been asked these questions quite so many times. So the internship program at ISTA could be very flexible. It could be as immersive as like being a PhD student here. Like you could do as much as they do, or it could be just like sitting there and watching what people do, or just read about what the group actually does. So in general, in most of the computer science group, interns are usually assigned to a PhD, to another PhD student or another postdoc, or in some cases, which was specifically my case as well, to work with the PI directly on a project that is already ongoing, or just explore some ideas or start a new project. Well, depending on the background, like you don't necessarily need to have a strong background. You can just come here to explore, or just like come to like just go deeper in the research. So for example, like if you have a strong background, you can an already ongoing project, like already contribute to the code base, or just like make new ideas, explore them, and collaborate with others to like even write a paper at the end of your by the end of your internship. Like it could be just as immersive. And you have so many opportunities. Like people are usually welcome your ideas and help you develop them. And specifically for my situation, which was in machine learning, there's like so much computational resources at ISTA that you can already use as an intern, just like other PhD students, to explore your ideas, or like run experiments for your paper. And so basically, it's just like you could have a demo of your PhD before you join ISTA.
All right. Well, so much to do, indeed. Uh, since you're not from Austria, I think you are totally fit to answer a question. How do you find life in Austria in general?
Okay. I mean, if I just want to like pack it up, I would say I really love it here. Uh, well, I was here as an intern before I joined the PhD, so I was already a bit familiar with Austria. But after joining as a PhD and like starting my new life here, I would say it was quite delightful to be in such a great atmosphere. It's really calm here, and specifically ISTA is located outside of the city, so it feels really nice to do your research in such a calm and like being quite close to the woods, and you can take a walk in the woods like when you're quite immersed in your work. It feels really nice here. I would definitely recommend it to anyone who wants to do their PhD.
And is there anything particular you love about Austria?
Well, that's a tough question because like I really love the whole package of living in Austria, but specifically like the nature around me, I really love it. Like there's like so much wildlife. I mean, we're basically living near woods.
Mhm.
So I mean, I usually take a walk in the woods, and that has become a big part of my life. So every day I usually have a running session in the woods, and this is already like, okay, I guess it boosts my mood every day, and that's something I can never give up on.
Yeah, here around Easter, you can easily find wild deers and rabbits and even fox if you
That's
are
right.
lucky.
If you're lucky.
Yeah, that's for sure. We definitely would not be able to answer all your questions, unfortunately. But maybe we can give our students also one more chance. If you had one tip for new applicants and new PhD students, what would it be? Who wants to start?
I
Stavros? Okay.
can definitely say something. Yeah, for me, what's really important, Masha, is that you are really honest. So both with yourself of what you really want to explore, what question really drives you, and with your PI, with your supervisor, you have to have very clear communication and how to approach the project. And I think when you're honest and you're true to yourself, also people respond to this very well, both collaborators, lab members, everybody. So I think that's my first tip: be true to yourself and be honest.
Mhm. And then?
Yeah, I think Stavros is right. I think before starting, you have to be honest with yourself. So like gather ideas, like understand if you think a PhD program if you really like to join a PhD program, for example, maybe the internship is a good. If someone is a bit in doubt, maybe trying out an internship, as Raj told us, and I also had experience of internship. Internship is sort of a demo of the PhD, so you can, if you have some doubts, maybe you can start from that. But yeah, make sure that you want to research for a few years.
I would say my advice is to enjoy it. Like, don't forget to enjoy it. It's very easy to get dragged into the stress of PhD, but also it's an amazing time. Like, you get this opportunity to pursue a question that you're very, very interested in. You have an amazing resources. You get a salary, so you don't have to worry about your life. So you should appreciate it and really try to enjoy this opportunity. It's probably one of the best times that you will have to actually do the science without any other commitments and so on. So yes.
And one more thing I would like to add is like, uh, just as you are in the position of like applying for a PhD, or even after you get into the program, you want to explore. You don't need to be stressed about it, because the PIs, other postdocs, or the even administrative staff, most of them like have already been in your situation. Like specifically PIs that you are in collaboration with, they already know about all your concerns, and they have a compassion for you, so you don't necessarily need to be too much stressed about it. And just as like others already mentioned, you can just be honest. They already know about your situation, and yeah, they usually have the best advice for you. So I would definitely recommend open communication as well.
Thanks a lot, everyone. I really like that the word honest was heard today in our conversation so many times. And I guess, yeah, it definitely echoes the Easter spirit. Well, thanks a lot, everyone. And first and foremost, thanks a lot, dear students, for your time. I know your labs are already waiting for you. Thank you for this conversation, and thank you for helping the new generation of students.
Thank you much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
And now we continue with track sessions, where you will have the opportunity to talk and ask questions and to hear a lot of useful information and tips from our professors and some students as well. In a moment, you will see on the screen the whole schedule of the separate track sessions and the links that you need to follow. Thanks a lot for being with us today, and have a great day. Bye.